How's it going, guys? Welcome to TheBlueShifting, and unfortunately, this isn't the video I wanted to be putting out, but I've got to. If you follow the Discord, you might have seen this already coming up, but I just wanted to kind of give just a brief share of kind of why you're not going to see any videos this week. And that's kind of the big announcement is I'm taking a week off. I don't know how many of you know this, but I tend to record and then edit and then publish my videos fairly in quick succession. Some people like to pre-record and kind of be ahead of the curve, but I find that it can be difficult to kind of keep up with conversations as videos come out, because I can sometimes know what's coming further along if I pre-record. And I also as much as I'd love to have this as like a full-time job, it's a hobby. I squeeze it in when I can. And so I find that if I try too hard to do things too far in advance, it just causes me excess of stress. And so I don't do that. I mean, I'm rambling. I'm rambling because I want to avoid this. This is a topic I'm not happy to have to share. But on the 5th of August, so at this point of recording and when this video comes out, it would have been 3 days ago, my grandfather, my mom's dad, passed away. He was 98. My mom was the youngest of 9 kids, so he was pretty old for me, just because good grief, by the time I was born, I had cousins that were in their 20s. So, it wasn't like we didn't see this coming. In fact, we kind of, as a family, had been bracing ourselves for it for probably about a decade. He'd fought off cancer twice, and it came back again. He had also started suffering pretty severe dementia in the last couple of years. And so it wasn't, super... When you look at the numbers, it's not unexpected at all, but I'm not sure it really kind of hit me yet. It was odd because he had such a large family, and yet that family was very good about being together, communicating, and doing family reunions and stuff. So he was a fairly large part of my childhood, and he's the first real close family member I've actually had to see pass. I'm very lucky in that regard. All my grandparents besides him are still alive. And, I even got to know and grow up with great-grandparents. I've been really lucky, and my family's had some pretty good health. So, this is kind of a first for me. It's a first close family member that's passed. And while I'm really lucky in that regard, it doesn't really mean it's not emotionally challenging. And I'm not even sure if I've really processed it yet. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't feel real, but I know it's real. Part of it's because I'm far away. I no longer live very close to family. And so that's why I'm going to not be making videos. I'm flying out. I'm going to go see family. I'm going to go to attend the funeral and the memorial. And then I'm going to go and just spend a little bit of time with my mom and my brother and my other extended family. Just kind of a mini vacation. It just kind of worked out where it's not a terrible time for me to do something like this, and so I'm just gonna go do it. And naturally, I'm not taking my computer with me. I'm not gonna stress myself out about trying to make content or anything like that. I'm just gonna focus on my family for a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll jump right back into things. Because of the type of flights I was able to get, I doubt I'm going to be coming out with a Love next week, because I'm taking a red-eye flight over Sunday night. And so I land in town Monday morning. I'm not going to have the time to record something. I'm going to be too exhausted. So I would anticipate the next video we end up watching and playing together is going to be the next Uncivilized Run episode next Tuesday. So In reality, we're actually missing about 6 videos, just taking a break from. But I'm coming back. I love this stuff. It's important to me, and by the time I come back, I'm probably going to need to take this time for myself anyway. So don't feel like I'm going anywhere anytime, like for any real length of time. It's just taking a break. I'm just like, at least this is an elective break. The breaks I've had to take up this year so far have been involving sicknesses, and like my voice giving out. This time it's a personal reason. But yeah, I just owe it to you, my people who are viewers and my patrons and everybody to know why you're just not going to see anything from me for a bit. And that's pretty much it. Now, if I think of anything interesting, I might go ahead and do some community posts. I probably will be active on the Discord, throwing out comments or something. So if anyone's got anything you want to say or questions for me, feel free to do so. I'm sure I'll be reaching out. I'm going to take what time I'm not going to be spending with family. I'm probably going to catch up on some games that I just want to play for me. Rune Factory 5 is something I actually watched. Her former name was Melty, but I think she's actually changed up her name. I can't think of it off the top of my head though, but I've done some collabs with her before, but she been streamed a little bit of it, and I kind of got intrigued by it, so I've been playing that on my own time. So I'm probably going to actually play that because I don't play it very much. Most of my free time I put into this, so I'm probably gonna just goof around on that a lot, and probably read a book and just reflect. I guess a little bit more I'll say, I've talked about my grandfather on the channel before. Of all my family members, he's the one that served most directly and impactfully in the military. He actually served, I believe he he wasn't drafted. I believe he volunteered to fight in the Korean War. He signed on. His dad and his dad and his older brothers were participants in World War I and II, respectively. He's really inspired by their willingness to serve and the great things that they were able to accomplish and to serve and protect and to help others. So when he saw the opportunity and the call went out, he rose to the occasion, and he served in Korea, where he was then eventually honorably discharged after he received a wound in battle. He actually told me that story, something I'm not going to go into detail, most likely, just because it was personal, and I found out from my grandma after he told me, because I mentioned it to her. She was really surprised, because normally the memories, especially the last, the battle where he got wounded, some really terrible things happened. He saw and lived through some really traumatic stuff, and to the point where he doesn't talk about it very much. But for some reason, when I had a conversation with him when I was 12 or 13, he ended up telling me the story. And it's something I've reflected on a lot in my Muv-Luv series, because especially Unlimited and Alternative, where so much of the focus was on why do you fight, and surviving through things and watching your friends, whom you trust with your life and soul, fall around you, and talked about what that was like, and how a real battlefield felt, and what happened, and just those memories. And so whenever I play that game and talk about these topics, I often reflect about that conversations I've had with him. And whilst I don't think I could ever do that, I would be a terrible soldier. Even if they got me on the field, which I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even let me close to the battlefield, but if they got me onto the battlefield, I'd just be an embarrassment. But I've always had a healthy respect for the sacrifice that people make when they serve. Even if you can't always get behind the political machinations that can involve combat and warfare, I can absolutely stand behind the desire to put others before yourself and to fight for a cause that you're willing to put your life on the line for. Having had a family member who had done that and gone through that and suffered so much for it, my grandfather, it gives me a healthy respect for it. and for veterans in general, and soldiers and people who are fighting, especially volunteers. So yeah, just know that part of the reason why Muv-Luv is so impactful for me wasn't just because it was wonderfully written. It wasn't just because it had such memorable characters. It was also because it reminded me a lot of some of the most interesting and intense conversations I've had with family. And it's never going to be something I can just put aside. It's not going to be something I can forget. So yeah, this isn't really a great, like, hallmark to my grandfather. I don't know if I'm really the person to try and leave some kind of memorial of him or anything, but I do think that as time goes on, I will share his story. It'll probably come up in videos. It might even be something I do a special on. Just because it's so inspirational and awe-inspiring for me. So I'm sure you'll hear about him in the future. But for now, just understand I am going to go, and I'm going to go and spend time with family, going to go grieve and try and process the emotion of losing somebody whom I knew so well, and was such a big part of my life in childhood. Like I said, I'm not really sure I'm processing it right now because part of it just doesn't feel real. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to make it very real, and I'm going to go and figure all that out. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. I know I don't have to apologize for not making videos, but I still feel like I do. So sorry, but I'm going to be right back, and I'll be making more content than ever. You guys are amazing. I'm grateful for all your kind words and such. I really do think we've got one of the best communities out there, just because we don't really have trolls. We don't really have nastiness. Like, I've seen a couple like conversations get a little heated on the Discord, but they always mellow out. And I'm grateful that we can share these passions even if we don't agree on everything, and kind of like ultimately like these wonderful stories kind of win out in the end, and I hope that continues. If you are looking for something to do this week while I'm out, there's a great backlog, a lot of content that you might not have even heard of. I've actually had somebody who recently found my it's Sunrider. I think the Sunrider series. It's like a really cool visual novel fused with a tactical battle sim game that's really, really fun. The first two games are actually free on Steam, like absolutely free, and then the third one's like a fantastic ride as well. And I covered that entire series really early in the channel's history, so those videos don't have a ton of views, and it's definitely not the best like edited, because I was still learning. I'm still learning now, but it was, you know, much earlier. But that series is fantastic, and so that's a one I highly recommend you check out, and there's many others like it. So anyway, yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope that I find you well, and that when I eventually do get back, we'll be able to jump right back into some fun content. So thank you so much for your patience. Hope you guys have a great week, and until I see you in the next video you watch of me, or whatever video you happen to see next, I'll see you there. Bye, guys.